After my promotion, I paid off the last $42,000 of our mortgage as a gift. That night, I overheard my wife laughing to her friend. Now that the house is paid off, I can finally drop his sorry ass and take everything. No more guilt. I sat alone listening. I didn't say a word. Instead, I started to create a plan. This morning, my wife showed up screaming in a bathrobe, hair wet. He took everything. Hey everyone, before we dive in, I have a quick favor to ask. If you enjoy content like this, please hit the subscribe button. It's free, supports the channel, and ensures you never miss out on amazing videos. Alright, let's get started. So, I don't know where to start because this whole thing is honestly making me feel like I'm in some weird simulation. Or maybe I just ignored a bunch of red flags because I thought people were better than this. But whatever. I gotta get this out of my head so I can actually sleep tonight. If you're reading this, just know I'm not looking for sympathy. I just want to see if anyone else has ever been blindsided by someone they thought they knew. Because for real, I'm still in that no way this is happening mode. So, okay, me and Blair, married like 7 years, been together for almost 10. No kids, just a dog. His name's Cheddar. He's the only normal one here right now. We met in this weird way, not some rom-com crap. Basically, her friend Sage dragged her to this D&D group my brother was running, and I only went because Victor owed me for crashing my car a few years back. Neither of us played. We just sat in the kitchen eating chips and arguing about Taylor Swift lyrics. It kind of worked, I guess. Now I'm thinking maybe I should have just left when she started ranting about how security is the only thing that matters. But hindsight, right? So fast forward. Life's been like not super dramatic, just normal. Lots of little arguments, nothing wild. I got a bit of a raise this year. Nothing crazy, just enough that I finally thought, hey, let's pay off the rest of the mortgage. We only had like 42 grand left, which sounds like a ton. But after years of double payments and not going on trips, thanks Blair, it was finally doable. I thought I was doing a good thing. Like, that's security, right? Who doesn't want to be done with a mortgage before they hit 40? I set it up as a surprise, made a little dinner, told her like it was a big reveal. She acted happy, hugged me, even posted some sappy Insta story about blessed and adulting. Cheddar got extra treats. Everyone's happy. Except like, not really. She got weirdly quiet after, not upset, just off. She started scrolling through her phone more. I figured whatever, just tired from work. But then she made this comment when we were brushing our teeth like, now I guess you can finally relax, huh? Which sounded normal, but I don't know. It was off. I brushed it off. That night, it's like midnight. I can't sleep. I go downstairs to get water and hear her on FaceTime with Sage. Didn't mean to listen at first, just the way her voice was echoing in the hall. I'm not even kidding. She was literally laughing, like full-on cackling, and saying stuff like, now that the house is paid off, I can finally drop his sorry ass and take everything. No more guilt. I played the long game. Not even a whisper. Sage is laughing with her and saying stuff about how she knew it, how Blair always deserved better, and how he'll never see it coming. I kind of just stood there for a second. I felt stupid for even listening, but I couldn't move. I went back upstairs, left the water on the counter, just sat in the dark for a while. I don't even know what I felt. Just like, what the hell? I didn't say anything right away. I just watched her act normal. The next morning, making coffee, scrolling TikTok, acting like nothing was wrong. Cheddar kept looking at me like he knew something was weird too. Which sounds dumb, but he's not usually clingy. Here's the thing, and I can admit this now. Blair's always been like this about money. Not greedy, just obsessed with security. Her family lost their house when she was in high school. Her dad bailed, and her mom's been scraping by ever since. Blair's always said she refuses to ever feel trapped like that again. So she wants options. I just didn't think I was the thing she wanted to escape from. I don't know if she ever really loved me or if I was just a walking mortgage payment to her. To be honest, I should have seen it, because every time we fought, it was about bills, or about how I never think big enough. She'd say stuff like, I can't rely on dreams, I need facts. Like, sorry for being boring, I guess. So anyway, after hearing that call, I just started thinking, for real, how long has she been planning this? Like, was every fight about money? Just her pushing me to secure her own future, so she could dip. She's not dumb. She's always calculating. She knows how to play nice with people, especially if she thinks she can get something out of it. I remember last Christmas, she almost slapped me at my dad's because I made a joke about how she's saving us into the grave. And she legit pushed me in the hallway after and said I'm embarrassing her in front of her family. I didn't even push back. I just laughed it off. My brother Victor, he saw it, but he just gave me that look like, bro, don't start. I didn't. Now I'm looking back at all these little moments, like the time she slammed the bedroom door because I wouldn't switch banks. Or when she told me I was ruining her credit by not agreeing to co-sign for some new car she wanted. She'd get mad, disappear into the bathroom for an hour, come out all chipper, and act like nothing happened. So yeah, last night I heard her say it plain as day to Sage. I'm just the guy who paid off her house. I didn't even confront her. I just started thinking. Sat there making lists in my head of what's mine, what's hers, whose name is on what. I started Googling stuff about marital property, joint accounts, all that. I'm not stupid. I know if I blow up now, she'll play the victim and I'll get nothing. I know how she is. She'll call her mom, make some big scene, tell everyone I'm having a breakdown or whatever. She's done it before when we almost broke up 2 years ago. She can turn on the waterworks in a second. I went through the house this morning just looking at all the stuff I bought. The stuff she said was too expensive, but then bragged about to her friends. I didn't say a word to her, just watched her pretend to be all chill. She made eggs, asked if I wanted some. I just shook my head. She shrugged and posted a pic of her breakfast to her story, tagging Sage like nothing happened. I texted my brother and just said, "Hey, can I come by later?" He just sent back a thumbs up. I don't think he knows what's up, but whatever. I'm not telling anyone yet. I want to see how far she'll go before she tips her hand. I want to see if she'll try to move money or start suggesting we split up now that the house is paid off. I'm not getting played like some idiot. Not again. She thinks she's the only one who can play games. She has no idea. I'm not sitting around waiting for her to make the first move. I'm going to make sure when she tries to take everything, there's nothing left for her to grab. I started last night, changing passwords, checking which accounts are actually joint, figuring out what can be moved. Cheddar's sleeping at my feet as I type this. I'm not going to let her walk all over me. Not this time. I'll update when I know what I'm doing next. But if you ever wonder if someone's playing you, trust your gut. People are way better at pretending than you think. Update 1. So if you read my last post, you already know my wife Blair straight up said to her friend that she'd take everything now that the house is paid off. And yeah, I sat there and heard it. Didn't sleep much after that, but I woke up with this weird calm. Not the kind of calm where you're zen with stuff, more like that dead quiet before a thunderstorm, just waiting. Cheddar was glued to my side all morning, maybe picking up on the tension, or maybe just wanting his breakfast early. I don't know. So the first weird thing was Blair acting super chipper, like over the top almost. She made coffee and kept humming, which she literally never does. Then she goes, "Should we finally get that new couch since we own the house now?" Like she emphasized the word own and looked at me for a reaction. I just said, "Maybe." And she shot me this little smirk, like she was testing something. It was subtle, but I caught it. I started small. First thing, I checked every single account we have, which sounds easy, but it's not because we've got stuff all over the place. Joint account, her old account, my old account, a savings account at some tiny credit union from before we got married. I started moving my direct deposit to my account only, which she never used because she said the app sucked. I left enough in the joint to cover bills for a couple weeks, but not enough to let her pull a fast one and drain it. Not illegal, just self-preservation, you know? Then I started looking at all the stuff in the house. So much of it is mine or came from my side of the family. The TV, the speakers, the vintage game console, the tools in the shed, even the air fryer everyone makes fun of me for loving. So I started packing stuff up piece by piece. I told Blair Victor needed help with something at his place, so I was taking the tools and some stuff over. She barely looked up from her phone, just shrugged and said, "Whatever." Cheddar's bed and food went in my car too. I left her the old blender she hates and some pans. Whatever. She didn't even notice at first. The next day, she was on the phone with Sage again, talking about how she's looking at new apartments, just in case. Not even trying to whisper, I heard her say, "I'll get the house so I won't need to worry. He'll get over it." Like I'm some toddler who needs a nap. That's when I started making a checklist, everything I paid for, everything I brought in, what could go in storage at Victor's place. Victor's not nosy, but did ask if everything was okay. I just told him I was doing some spring cleaning. He said I should have done it sooner, to be honest. Blair started getting more obvious. She started leaving listings for apartments and condos open on the laptop, not even closing the tabs. She would ask questions like, were her parents still planning to downsize, if we could visit them soon, and if I would mind if she repainted the living room. I just said, whatever. Do what you want. I think that threw her off because she slammed the bathroom door that night and didn't talk to me for a while. She made a big deal at dinner one night, saying, "Maybe we should divide chores more fairly now that we're mortgage-free." I said, "Sure, whatever system works." She started trying to needle me, saying stuff like, "You're so agreeable lately, almost like you don't care about the house." I just nodded. She kept pushing, saying she deserves credit for making us save money and how I never saw the bigger picture. I said, maybe she's right. She didn't like that answer. She called her mom 2 nights later, loud enough for me to hear. She told her mom she was worried I was depressed and acting strange. Her mom called me, asked if everything was okay. I said, just tired from work, nothing to worry about. She said Blair had been anxious lately and she hoped I wasn't withholding anything. I said, nope, everything's fine, just busy. Her mom sounded unconvinced. I could hear Blair in the other room slamming drawers. Then she came in and asked if I'd seen her charger. I said I moved it because I was cleaning. She rolled her eyes and muttered something under her breath. I started sleeping on the couch with Cheddar. She didn't even ask why. She just posted some sad lyrics on her Instas, like she was auditioning for a breakup montage. Sage commented with hearts and some, "You got this" BS. I didn't say anything. I started moving more stuff out every day, a little at a time. Victor let me use his garage. He asked if I was moving out or something. I just said I needed to make space. He shrugged and asked if Cheddar was coming over too. I said maybe. Blair started getting suspicious. She started asking about the joint account, why the balance was lower. I said bills are expensive, and she snapped, saying she needs to know if I'm hiding something. I said she could check the statements anytime. She grabbed my phone, tried to unlock it, and when it didn't work, she tossed it on the table and walked out. She came back in and tried to push past me to get to the laptop. I blocked her, and she shoved me, so I just stepped aside and let her have the laptop. She slammed it shut and stormed upstairs. Cheddar barked. I ignored it. She tried to get me to go to a couple's dinner with Sage and her boyfriend. I said, no, not in the mood. She slammed her bedroom door again. 2 days later, she started bringing up, maybe we should talk about our future. I said, sure, whenever she wants. She asked if I thought we'd be happy living apart. I just said, depends if you want to be happy. She glared at me, grabbed her keys, and left. She didn't come back for like 4 hours. She texted me once, said not to wait up. She started hiding stuff too. Her jewelry, her laptop, even her makeup bag. She started sleeping with her phone under her pillow. She started asking weird questions about Cheddar, like if I'd ever let her take him to her mom's if we ever split up. I said no. She rolled her eyes. The whole vibe in the house shifted. Every meal was silent. Every question was loaded. I could tell she was trying to get a reaction out of me, but I just acted like I didn't care. She tried to pick a fight over the internet bill, saying I was hogging all the bandwidth. I said she could switch providers if she wanted. She didn't like that. She pushed her chair back and stormed out, slammed the front door. I started documenting everything. Receipts, texts, screenshots. I took photos of everything that was mine. I even wrote down which stuff had been gifts from my family. I figured if she tried to pull anything, I'd have proof. I started moving more money, paying off my credit card, closing out anything that was joint but in my name. I called the insurance people and made sure the house policy was up to date, just in my name. Cheddar started sleeping in the car with me some nights when she was extra tense. I only told Victor the basics, not the whole story. He said I was welcome to crash anytime. I said not yet. The weirdest part was how normal Blair tried to act in front of anyone else. Her mom came by one night to drop off some soup, and Blair put on this whole act, smiling and laughing, asking about family stuff. The second her mom left, she started yelling at me about the kitchen being a mess. I said, clean it if you want. She glared at me, snapped a dish towel, and stomped upstairs. She started locking the bathroom door every time she went in. She started checking the mailbox twice a day. She started asking if I'd seen any weird mail from the bank. I said, nope. The last straw was when she said she wanted to talk about selling the house. She said maybe it was time for a fresh start. I just said, sure, if you want to. She didn't expect that, I could tell. She tried to bait me into arguing, saying I was being cold and unfair. I said, just let me know if you want to list it. She slammed the door again. I could tell she was getting desperate. She started texting Sage constantly, whispering on the phone, checking her credit score like every day. She started talking about knowing her worth and not letting anyone hold her back. I just kept moving my stuff, closing accounts, making copies of everything important. IDK what's going to happen next, but I know she's planning something. I'm not waiting around to see if she'll stab me in the back. I'm taking back every single thing she thought she could just waltz off with. She's not the only one who knows how to play this game. I'll update when it all blows up. I'm ready for it. Update 2. So yeah, this is the part where things actually went down. Honestly, if you told me last year I'd be writing this, I'd have just laughed and said, there's no way Blair would ever drop the mask that hard. But here we are. Anyway, if you kept up with the last 2 posts, you'll know I was already moving my stuff, moving my money, getting everything in place. TBH, it's wild how fast things can start happening once you actually stop sitting around hoping people will change. The thing that stuck out was how Blair started getting sloppy. She was always careful, but lately she'd leave tabs open on her laptop, texts from Sage just popping up mid-conversation, all this manifesting abundance crap. She'd leave her phone face up, and I'd see notifications about apartments, not even bothering to delete her search history. She started sending herself emails with links to divorce checklists and how to get the house guides. She was getting cocky, I guess, or maybe just impatient. She wanted out, but wanted to walk out holding the deed, and my stuff too. One night, she started in again saying, maybe we should rethink the way we live. Maybe it's time to set some boundaries. I said, sure, whatever boundaries you want. She tried to bait me with questions like, do you even care what happens next? And all I said was, you can do what you want. She got mad, pushed her chair back, shoved her plate across the table, and went upstairs. I just took Cheddar for a walk and called it a night. So the night before everything blew up, I packed the last of my stuff into the car. Victor let me stash some stuff at his place, and the rest I just loaded up. I left the big things behind. I mean, I couldn't exactly take the whole couch or the fridge, but all the stuff that was mine, gone. TV, speakers, game consoles, tools, the dog stuff, my clothes, my old guitar, even my box of random cables and chargers. I even took the router, not going to lie, because I pay for the internet and wasn't about to leave her with free Wi-Fi. I left the fridge with half a carton of eggs and some oat milk she hates anyway. I waited until she was in the shower. Cheddar followed me around, tail wagging like it was just a normal day. I left a note on the counter. Nothing dramatic, just, you wanted security, so now you've got it. Good luck. I took my car, in my name, paid for, locked the door and left. I parked a few blocks away and just waited. I wanted to see her reaction. FR, maybe that's petty, but after what she said to Sage, I wasn't about to just let her play this out like she was the only one with a plan. It was maybe an hour later, just after sunrise, when I saw her fly out the front door in a bathrobe, hair still wet, screaming into her phone. She was yelling at someone, pretty sure it was Sage, saying, "I took everything. He took everything. What am I supposed to do?" She saw the empty living room, saw Cheddar's bed gone, saw the router gone, and started yelling louder. She slammed the door so hard the mail slot rattled. I could hear her through the open window, stomping around, opening cabinets, yelling my name. Sage actually showed up like 20 minutes later. She pulled up in her little blue hatchback, hair still in a messy bun, looking like she woke up just for the drama. She marched up to the door, didn't even knock, just barged in. I could hear them both yelling. Sage saying, "I must have lost my mind." Blair saying she can't believe I would do this to her after everything she put up with. They started shouting about calling my family, about calling the bank, about how I'd regret this. I just sat in my car with Cheddar, scrolling through Reddit, waiting. Then Blair actually called my dad. I didn't pick up, but he left a voicemail saying Blair was very upset and maybe I should just come talk it out, not leave things ugly. I texted him, just handling it. "We'll call you later." He didn't reply. After a while, Blair came storming out and saw my car parked down the street. She came running down, screaming, "Why would you do this? What's wrong with you? Are you trying to ruin my life?" I just said, "We're done. You got what you wanted." She tried to slap me, missed, then shoved me. I stepped back, told her not to touch me. She screamed some more, then stormed back up the street. Cheddar barked at her. Sage started yelling from the porch that I was a child, that real men don't run away from problems. I didn't say anything, just got in the car. I drove off, didn't look back. Victor texted me, asked if I was okay. I just sent him a thumbs up and a pic of Cheddar in the passenger seat. He said, "Good. Stay safe." That day, Blair's mom called me 3 times. Her first message was all polite, saying she hoped we could find a way to work through this. Her second was more annoyed, saying she didn't understand why I'd abandoned someone who clearly needs support. By the third, she was just yelling, saying Blair was devastated and I needed to do the right thing. I didn't answer. Blair tried to lock me out of the house, but it's my name on the deed, and the locks are old anyway. When I came back later for a couple things she'd missed, Sage was there, arms crossed, acting like I was breaking in. I said I was just getting my stuff, nothing else. Blair tried to block the hallway. I told her to move. She slapped my arm, hard, but I just kept walking. She started crying. Sage told her to call the cops. I just laughed and said, "Go ahead." They didn't. That was the last time I saw Sage, honestly. She stormed out, slammed her car door, peeled off down the street. Blair just stood there, mascara running, arms crossed. She asked if I was proud of myself. I said, "Not really, but at least I'm not a doormat." I took the last of my boxes. Cheddar jumped in the car. We left. I haven't been back since. The fallout was messy. Blair started telling anyone who'd listen that I abandoned her, that I took everything, that I'm unstable. Half her friends blocked me. The other half texted me asking what really happened. I just said, "Ask her." Victor backed me up. My dad didn't say much at first, just asked if I was safe. My mom called and said she hoped I wasn't doing anything crazy. But after I explained, she said she understood. Blair tried to get me to come back and talk. She said we could work it out if I'd just be reasonable. I said, "No thanks." She said she'd take me for everything if I didn't give her the house. I said, "Good luck." She slammed the door. I'm sure she thought she'd be the one walking away with everything, but she learned real quick that people aren't as easy to control as she thinks. She wanted security. She wanted options. She wanted to play games. Now she's got an empty house and I've got Cheddar and my stuff, and honestly, that's enough. Next steps? IDK. But I'm not letting her spin this into some sob story where she's the victim and I'm the villain. People want to pick sides. Let them. I know what's real. Finally, update. So it's been 5 years. Yeah, wild, I know, and I honestly thought I was done with it. Cheddar's old now, sleeps more than he runs, but still guards the door like Blair's gonna show up and try to snatch the couch or something. I never really planned on posting again, but what happened last week just hit different, so here goes. Life's been, not some glow up, not a train wreck, just regular. I rent a place a few towns over, got some mismatched furniture, most of it from Craigslist or my brother's garage. Victor comes by with his kids sometimes. Cheddar barks at them for stealing his spot on the rug. I haven't dated much, TBH. Not because I'm bitter, but because I just can't be bothered to play those games again. Every once in a while, I'll get a random DM from someone who went to high school with Blair asking if I'm the guy, which, yeah, I am. Sometimes I get tagged in old group pics on Facebook by people who haven't talked to me in years, and it's always awkward. Blair lost the house after like a year. Couldn't keep up with taxes and repairs. I heard from Sage. Well, I overheard her at the grocery store, lol, that Blair moved back in with her mom for a while. Not my problem. I blocked her on everything. She tried to drag out the divorce for months, tried every angle she could. She even tried to say I'd hidden assets, which is a joke because all she had to do was ask my brother what was in his garage. She wanted to keep Cheddar too, but I just said, "Look, you never even walked him." The judge sided with me on that one. I never got the house back. Not that I wanted it, but at least she didn't get it either. There's always people who want to take sides. Some of her friends still try to make me the villain, but most people just faded out of both our lives. I see Sage sometimes at the farmer's market and she just ignores me. One time she bumped my shoulder on purpose and kept walking. I just laughed. I think she's still mad I didn't let Blair win. Whatever. My family mostly laid off after a while. Victor gets it. Dad was awkward a year or two, always asking if I was really all right. He's a crier, always has been. So it's not like shocking, but it still gets under my skin when he leaves those voicemails late at night. Usually it's just him saying he misses me, wants me to come over for dinner, stuff like that. So last week I get this voicemail from Dad, middle of the afternoon, not his usual time. He's crying, but it's not like his normal sappy tears. It's different. He says, "Lonnie, I just got off the phone with Blair. She called me. She's in a bad place. She says you ruined her life, and I just want you to know I love you. I always have. And I'm sorry I didn't see it sooner. I'm sorry I didn't back you up more." Then he just hangs up. No goodbye. Just a bunch of sniffles and then silence. GL. I sat there with my phone on the table for a while, just staring at it. Not because I felt bad, but because the whole thing just felt so final. I thought about calling him back, but I just texted instead. Said, "I'm good, Dad. Don't worry about me. See you Sunday." He sent back a heart emoji. We don't really talk about Blair anymore. Not since the divorce. He tried once or twice to get me to see her side, but after that voicemail, I think he finally got it. I guess Blair called him because she thought he'd pressure me to send money or try to fix things. IDK what exactly she said, but I know her. She always wanted someone to clean up her mess. She can't stand being the one who got left behind. Her whole life was about control, about feeling like she was owed something just for surviving harder than other people. Her mom always blamed other people for everything, and Blair just picked that up and ran with it. Maybe that's why she thought she could talk everyone into feeling sorry for her. The weird thing is, I don't even feel angry anymore. Not satisfied either. Just done. I did what I had to do. I lost a bunch of friends. Yeah, and Cheddar's the only one who never picked sides. But at least I can sleep at night. I look at my brother's family, at my dad calling me just to say hi, and I think maybe I was the only one who actually saw things for what they were. Blair spent her whole life trying to win. I just wanted out. Sometimes I run into people who knew both of us, and they always ask if I'd ever get back together with her if she changed. I just laugh. Change for what? To get another house? Nah, I'm not angry, but I'm not stupid either. I still get those moments where I wonder if I went too far. But then I remember that FaceTime call, her laughing about taking everything. And I know I didn't. People keep saying time heals everything, but TBH, it just makes stuff quieter. You still remember, you just don't care as much. So yeah, 5 years gone. No epic comebacks, no new love story, just Cheddar, my brother dropping by on Sundays, and my old man crying on voicemails. It's not a movie ending, but it's real. I did what I had to do. People want to judge, whatever. Let them. Not every story's got a lesson. Sometimes you just stand your ground and let people call it what they want. If you made it this far, thanks, I guess. If you're in something like this, just remember, being the nice guy doesn't mean you gotta be a doormat. Sometimes revenge is just not letting them win.